What's up, YouTube? It's your boy CADETSFOREAL, man. You already know what's going on. And I'm really into horror. And Conjuring, Ed and Lorraine, but I didn't know about the Smurl family story, so that's what I wanted to dig deeper into to learn what really was going on, what really happened. So let's get to it. Like, comment, subscribe, and we're up next. And tell me what y'all want me to react to, and I'll do it. Nothing too crazy though.
The Conjuring Last Rites. This movie is based on the true events of the Smurl family hauntings. It remains one of the most controversial cases in paranormal history, and is also known as the case Ed and Lorraine Warren couldn't solve. It all began in August 1973 in West Pittston, Pennsylvania. A family purchased a new home after losing their previous one to flooding during Hurricane Agnes the year before. Jack and Janet Smurl, a working-class Catholic couple, moved into a modest duplex at 328 Chase Street. The couple had met in 1967 and married the following year. Jack served in the Navy and later became a neuropsychiatric technician. The house they purchased was ordinary, simple, clean, and quiet. Janet managed the household while raising 4 daughters, Dawn, Heather, and twins, Shannon and Karen. Jack's parents lived on the other side of the duplex. The initial hauntings began in January 1974. According to the Smurls, they started subtly. A strange stain appeared on one of the new carpets, which was impossible to remove. A water pipe broke, then mysteriously repaired itself. Radios turned on and off at random. Repairing tools disappeared and reappeared in odd places. And then, everything escalated. Over the next decade, things took a horrifying turn. A foul stench, described as rotting flesh, would sweep through the rooms, only to vanish moments later. A television set burst into flames. Pipes leaked persistently, despite being resoldered. A new sink and bathtub became mysteriously scratched. In 1975, Dawn, the oldest daughter, began telling her parents that she saw people floating around her bedroom. Janet reported being violently grabbed and thrown down the stairs. Even their dog was lifted off the ground and hurled into a wall. Jack claimed that a succubus, a female demon believed to seduce and assault men in their sleep, entered the living room and sexually assaulted him while a baseball game played on the TV. Neighbors even reported hearing screams from the house while the family wasn't home. So, what exactly was happening inside that house? Some researchers claimed the duplex had been built on the site of a tragic flood in the 1800s. Others pointed to the original owner's rumored history of domestic violence. But one detail consistently surfaced. Before the Smurls moved in, the house had suffered major flood and fire damage. According to paranormal lore, such events often act as conduits for spiritual infestations. In 1986, at their breaking point and to find answers, the Smurls reached out to renowned demonologists Ed and Lorraine Warren. Ed and Lorraine Warren were American paranormal investigators and authors, associated with some of the most prominent alleged haunting cases in history. Ed was a self-taught and self-proclaimed demonologist, author, and lecturer. Lorraine claimed to be clairvoyant and a light trance medium, someone who could see and feel supernatural presences. Sounds right out of the movies, isn't it? Their investigation began with questions about the Smurls' family life, religious beliefs, and any possible involvement with the occult. Accompanied by registered nurse and psychic Rosemary Frew, they conducted a walkthrough of the house. With no signs of family dysfunction, tragedy, or occult practices that might have attracted spirits, the Warrens considered another possibility. The demon had been dormant for decades and awakened to draw energy from the daughter's puberty and the family's devout faith, both common triggers and poltergeist cases. They identified a bedroom closet as a potential crossover point between the two halves of the duplex and claimed to detect 4 evil entities in the house. They even started hearing pig noises from the walls. Ed Warren was totally convinced that the Smurls had a case of serious demonic infestation. So, with the church unwilling to come to their aid, Ed Warren brought a priest he knew to Chase Street. Father McKenna had performed more than 50 exorcisms for the Warrens in the past and was happy to help the troubled Smurls. Father McKenna performed the ancient rite at the Smurls' home, but it did nothing but serve to anger the demon even more. The family were now in the second demonic stage, oppression, which according to Ed Warren followed by the first stage, which was infestation, and the next stages would be possession and finally death. Lorraine concluded that the Smurls shared their home with 4 spirits: a harmless elderly woman, a possibly violent young girl, a man who had suffered and died in the home, and the most dangerous of all, the last spirit was a demon, the one manipulating the other 3 to destroy the family. A medium, Mary Alice Rinkman, examined the Smurls' home and confirmed the Warrens' findings. According to her, there were indeed 4 spirits present. She identified a man named Peter who had murdered his wife and her lover, and later been hung by a mob, and also an old woman named Abigail. Rinkman identified another spirit as a powerful demon, but was unable to give any details about the final spirit. Bishop McKenna performed a 3rd exorcism on the house, and this time it had seemed to have been successful. There were no more disturbances. 3 months later, however, it would appear that the ritual had not been such a success. Just before Christmas 1986, Jack Smurl saw a black figure he believed was beckoning him into the 3rd demonic stage, possession. He grabbed his rosary and prayed, and the figure disappeared. Their story of the Smurl family hauntings exploded in the media. Local newspapers ran headlines like "Haunted by Hell" and "Demon in the Duplex." TV crews, paranormal investigators, and skeptics swarmed the neighborhood. But the spotlight also raised skepticism. Many skeptics believed the entire haunting was fabricated for fame and financial gain. One of the leading critics was Paul Kurtz, chairman of the Committee for the Scientific Investigation of Claims of the Paranormal, CSI Cop. As media attention surged, Kurtz launched an investigation, sending 2 teams to West Pittston and contacting both journalists and the Smurl family. Kurtz concluded, "Our investigation of the Smurl case thus far points to several possible alternative explanations, without the need to invoke an occult or paranormal one." The investigation also raised serious questions regarding Ed and Lorraine Warren. Are they even real paranormal investigators, or are they faking everything? When investigators arrived, Ed and Lorraine Warren blocked them from entering the house, despite earlier permission from the Smurls. Kurtz was also denied access to the Warrens' supposed video and audio evidence, with vague excuses like the tapes were sent to the church, or loaned to a TV company Ed couldn't name. For any demonological claims to be accepted, they must be corroborated by independent observers. But we were denied the opportunity to examine the site, or freely question the claimants. Kurtz also discovered neighbors had complained for years about foul smells from a broken sewer pipe, a mundane source for the hauntings stench. Strange noises were traced to walls next to teenage daughter Dawn's room, raising suspicions of attention-seeking behavior. The Smurls declined psychological testing. Most tellingly, Kurtz pointed to the family's book deal. The fact that the Smurls have signed a book contract raises serious questions about their motives. The public is far more fascinated by demons and ghosts than the possibility of a prank or hoax. But here's the key detail. The Smurls never moved, even though they had every reason to. And they never...
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's like, you're going through all of that for decades, you know? And I'm not saying it's easy to move out, but like, bro, like, you had time to save money. You had time to get up out of there. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know.
Never made large profits from the book or the later TV movie. In fact, they were often humiliated by neighbors, by church members, and by the press. Why would a family endure that unless they truly believed something was happening, or they wanted us to believe their lies? By 1989, the Catholic Church officially stated that they found no evidence of demonic activity. Tensions between the Warrens and local clergy escalated. The church banned the couple from further involvement. Still, the Smurls remained convinced. They even claimed the activity followed them when they left the house temporarily. That's what makes this case unique. It wasn't just about the house. The entity or the demon was attached to the family. Many dismissed these claims, but trauma experts now argue that extreme psychological and spiritual duress can manifest as hauntings, metaphors for unresolved trauma. So, was the demon real, or was it the projection of a fractured psyche? And why did so many unrelated witnesses, neighbors, priests, reporters, also experience strange phenomena? In 1989, the Smurls finally moved to Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. According to them, the activity stopped. Strange, isn't it? They first claimed that the demon was following them outside the house, and suddenly when they move into another house and it's just gone. The Smurl case remains one of the most psychologically disturbing and morally complex investigations the Warrens ever faced. Unlike other cases, it deals with long-term mental decline, emotional trauma, spiritual terror, and possibly collective delusion. So if you like the video...
I don't know, bro. No one knows. No one knows, bro. It's like, it just went away like that. What's your rating for the next generation to get them? Like, the Smurl family is still, you know, kids going on. Let me stop. Like, comment, subscribe. We up next.